I'm Astha Srivastav, co-founder of Lawful Legal. Welcomes you all on the behalf of Lawful Legal. The subject matters for today's webinar is on IPR law, that is Intellectual Property Rights Law. And the resource person for today's webinar is Miss Saudamini Gupta, ma'am. I would like to introduce Saudamini, ma'am. She is an assistant lecturer at Jindal Global Law School, holds a bachelor's degree in BA LLB from National University of Study and Research in Law, Ranchi. She was a part of study of US Institute of University of Kansas during her bachelor's. She specialized in intellectual property rights law with an LLM from NUSRL Ranchi. She also specialized in international taxation, transfer pricing, and mergers and acquisition with an LLM from University of Florida. So, without taking much time, I would quickly like to introduce the organizer of today's seminar, Lawful Legal. Lawful Legal is more than just an online platform. It's a getaway to make law accessible to everyone. Our mission is to provide comprehensive notes on various legal subjects, ensuring that the intricacies of law are easy to understand for all. At Lawful Legal, we believe in nurturing the legal minds of tomorrow. That's why we offer a range of opportunities for students to develop holistically. Our vision is to elevate the legal profession to new heights. We aspire to create a gurukul of legal knowledge where acts, rules, regulation, codes, and orders are not just studied but understood deeply. We aim to empower the legal community, ensuring that the legacy of legal excellence continues to thrive in our society. So, without taking much time, over to you, ma'am.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you so much, Astha, for the warm welcome. So I hope I'm audible to everybody. Could somebody please let me know if I am?
Yes, you are
Yes,
audible.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lawful Legal, for giving me this platform to share some insights into IPR that I have. And without wasting much time, uh, I am going to briefly go about explaining what I think is relevant in terms of the webinar that we have today, unlocking the potential of intellectual property rights or intellectual property. So, everybody here, I assume everyone here is either interested in law or has a background in law. So, IPR is everywhere, right from the morning breakfast that you consume to the dinner that you have. आप सुबह से लेकर शाम तक जब जब आप अपनी आंखें खोलते हैं आईपीआर को अपने सामने पाते हैं. So even the cornflakes that you eat, yeah, the basmati rice that you cook for lunch has a trademark, a logo, a patent, a copyright involved. Copyright is mostly for literary works, but it has an element of IP that is there. So without going into much detail on the evolution of IPR, briefly speaking, I found this while I was researching. So the reason why IPR was first of all introduced, or I would say the idea of IPR came into somebody's head, was when they were baking bread because they wanted to have a kind of a copyright because it was their idea. That's how they came up with the recipe of bread. So that's how a simple food item led to the evolution of IPR in ancient Greece. And Lawful Legal had asked me to go about telling all of you that why should you choose IPR or why should you choose the certificate course. First of all, the course that Lawful Legal offers will be dealing with four limbs of IPR: patents, trademark, copyright, and industrial design. Right now, it's not possible for me to give you a gist of all the four in this particular webinar because we have a time constraint, and we also would love to take up questions in the chat box that you have. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, and unmute yourself and interrupt me whenever. I am used to being interrupted all the time whenever I'm teaching, so that's not a problem. First of all, with Shark Tank India and the startup generation, IPR is very much needed. Basically, आप जब एक आइडिया बनाते हैं तो आप चाहते हैं कि वो आइडिया आप तक यूनिक रहे क्योंकि वो आपकी खोज है, राइट? सो whenever you think of something, you want some protection from the law that somebody else should not treat this as their commodity and make profit out of it. This is a simple reason that IPR came into being. आप नहीं चाहते कि आपका पड़ोसी या आपका कोई फ्रेंड उस आइडिया को चुरा के उससे पैसे बनाना शुरू कर दे, तो आईपीआर इसलिए स्टार्ट हुआ था, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी. It is a property. It can be used for tangible as well as intangible goods. Basically ये देखी हुई चीजों के लिए भी हो सकता है, जो चीजों को आप क्वांटिफाई नहीं कर सकते उन चीजों के लिए भी है, लाइक डिजिटल गुड्स फॉर एग्जाम्पल. सो बेसिकली आजकल की जो स्टार्टअप जनरेशन है, वेयर पीपल लेफ्ट राइट एंड सेंटर आर बिजनेस post COVID, it gives you monopolistic rights. प्रोटेक्शन देता है कि ये चीज आपकी है, मोनोपोलिस्टिक यानी सिंगल राइट, दिस इज एक्सक्लूसिवली योर डोमेन एंड आप ही इसे यूज कर पाएंगे. तो एक आईपी का जो रजिस्ट्रेशन है इन टर्म्स ऑफ कॉपीराइट या पेटेंट, ट्रेडमार्क, इंडस्ट्रियल डिजाइन, वो इसी मोनोपोलाइजेशन को सपोर्ट करता है. It gives you the liberty or the liberalization to enter markets, right? And आपके आइडिया से आप प्रॉफिट जनरेट कर सकते हो without giving credit to somebody else who has got nothing to do with your invention or your creativity. आपकी क्रिएटिविटी को एनहांस करता है, बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटीज आपके पास आती हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टार्टअप, बिग स्टार्टअप्स हायर आईपी लॉयर्स, बिकॉज जब भी उनका कोई ब्रीच होता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ ट्रेडमार्क या पेटेंट्स, तो अब एक आईपी लॉयर ही उन्हें सपोर्ट कर सकता है. एंड इट लीड्स टू इनोवेशन बिकॉज नाउ यू आर इनकरेज्ड कि हाँ, आई कैन लुक फॉर अ कॉपीराइट बाय राइटिंग दिस एसे, दिस इज माय कॉपीराइट, दिस माय डोमेन. व्हेनेवर डॉक्यूमेंट को साइट करते हो, जैसे अगर मैंने फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई वीडियो आपको दिखाया, तो आई हैव टू साइट द सोर्स बिकॉज वो मेरा वीडियो नहीं है, राइट? सो इफ आई एम नॉट साइटिंग द सोर्स, I am actually stealing somebody's IP. उसकी intellectual property को मैं steal कर रही हूँ by not giving the right source. So this is how IPR functions. And जब भी आप कोई draft बनाते हैं as a lawyer या कोई moot court memo बनाते हैं, हमेशा बोला जाता है please cite royalty as fee for technical services, very very important taxation law case. But
Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Your voice is breaking. Please wait, ma'am will join soon. There is a network issue from her side.
I'm sorry about the network issue. I hope everybody was able to hear me so far. Yeah, should I repeat everything? Is there some student who can give me an honest feedback of whether you were able to hear whatever I was saying? Please
Yes,
repeat.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so should I repeat from the start or after
No,
moot
ma'am.
court? Okay. Okay, after moot court. I got in the chat. Thank you, Yash, wherever you are. Thank you so much for your feedback. Okay, so like I said that just let me start my screen share. Just a second. I'm so sorry about the network lag. Okay. Okay, so whenever you make a draft or you are using a what is this? Okay. Yeah. Whenever you are drafting something for a moot court competition, I'm sure most of you have participated in moot court competitions or at least want to participate in moot court competitions. So whenever you talk about citations, that is also a way to protect the not citations, but whenever you are quoting a book, right? That's a way to protect the copyright of the relevant authors जिसका भी काम आप cite कर रहे हैं. Because otherwise, if you portray that okay ये मैंने यूज करा without giving due credit to the person जिसने ये चीज लिखी है, it is actually a theft in the academic world, right? So you can't portray that okay this thing is mine or this thing is yours. आप जब कोई slides भी use करते हैं, of course I have not done that, you might see a watermark that comes across the slide. A very practical example, आपको PPT Microsoft Windows में आता है watermark insert करना. That's also a way of protecting your intellectual work. जो भी मैंने slides बनाई हैं, they are my own personal work, right? Nobody has the power to take it away from me. That's also a way to protect my intellectual property. So anything that you have created is part of intellectual property. Please remember, students, कि जो भी चीज नेचुरली अर्थ पे है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई ट्री है, कोई ऑयल है, जो ऑलरेडी बहुत एंशियंट टाइम से यूज हो रहा है, दैट इज नॉट कवर अंडर माई वॉइस इज नॉट क्लियर is what I'm getting. Asta, can you please confirm, is my voice clear or not?
Yes, your voice is clear, ma'am.
Okay, because I am getting a message that my voice is not clear. So maybe
Yeah, maybe their network issue.
okay, thank you. So basically what happens is that whenever something that is there, ठीक है, जैसे for example there's a dinosaur roaming around या कोई lizard का नया species discover हुआ है, discovery is not part of intellectual property rights. आप discovery पर IPR नहीं ले सकते हैं. Now इस पे एक बहुत important question ये है that there was a very famous case where there was an oil remedy that US में किसी ने कहा कि ये ऑयल हमने डिस्कवर करा है, हमने क्रिएट करा है, तो इस पे हमें आईपी प्रोटेक्शन मिलना चाहिए. मैं केस का नाम अभी भूल रही हूँ, बट आई विल एक्सप्लेन दिस इन माय कोर्स. सो एसेंशियली जो ऑयल आपने एक्सट्रैक्ट करा है, उसका जो प्रोसेस ऑफ एक्सट्रैक्शन है वो एक पेटेंट पेटेंट के पेटेंट लायबल है. यू कैन गेट अ पेटेंट रजिस्टर्ड फॉर इट. But the oil per se is not an IP protection, right? The use can be, the method of extracting the oil can be, right? Because oil already ट्री में था, ठीक है, वो पहले से अर्थ के नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज में प्रेवलेंट है. सो प्लीज बी वेरी केयरफुल कि डिस्कवरी, जहां पे वर्ड डिस्कवरी यूज हुआ, डिस्कवरी शुड बी योर इंडिकेटर वर्ड. डिस्कवरी जहां पे यूज होता है वो चीज आईपीआर आपको प्रोटेक्शन नहीं देता है, right? So it is used in competition law, corporate law, audits, valuation, litigation, patent lawyer, patent analyst, fashion, sports, licensing specialist. I'm sure आप सबने branded branded चीजों का बहुत शौक रखते हैं. You guys are young, so you might have seen these expensive fakes that are available. किसी की बेल्ट आपको फेक मिल जाएगी, गुची की, प्राडा की, ठीक है, या maybe you'll get logos of very expensive brands like Ralph Lauren, right? That is also a breach of IPR. उनके लोगों को कॉपी करना, सिमिलर बैग्स बनाना, ठीक है, एक डिफरेंट मटेरियल पे, दैट्स एक्चुअली अ ब्रीच ऑफ द इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी. दैट इज व्हाई यू सी कि एकदम खुलेआम आपका वेबसाइट्स पे आपको नहीं मिलेगा. यू वोंट फाइंड एक्सपेंसिव फेक्स वेरी इजीली ऑन बिग ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर्स लाइक Amazon, फ्लिपकार्ट एक्सेट्रा. अच्छा, वन मोर थिंग, यहाँ पे कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो लॉयर्स नहीं है या लॉ स्टूडेंट्स नहीं है? ऐसा कोई है इस वेबिनार में? Nobody? Is there anybody who has a science background जिसने अंडर ग्रेजुएशन साइंस की किसी सब्जेक्ट में करी है या कर रहे हैं? Sankirna, I got a request from you to be speaking in English. I don't have a problem in speaking in English, but I was told by the organizers to be bilingual. So I guess, Astha, please let me know what language I have to take, because otherwise it'll be very difficult for me to conduct this webinar. I have absolutely no problems in speaking in English.
Ma'am, I ask you to conduct it bilingually because most of the students are comfortable in this language. That's why.
But yeah, but Astha, I am getting a message saying that I'm having problems in understanding what I'm saying, and I think I was speaking English pretty
Okay,
fine.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. You can start in English only.
Okay, so the person who had requested me to speak exclusively, please, we are from Andhra, speak in English. Ma'am, your English spelling is also wrong. Please correct it. Shriva Sundra Madha Reddy. I understand you're from Andhra Pradesh, but I was actually speaking in English. It was more a bilingual. So if you have problems, maybe you can use the slides. I mean, I can't keep repeating the same for you. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so basically, I was telling you about the uses of IPR, right? So it's used in competition law, corporate law, audits and valuation, litigation, patent lawyer, patent analyst, fashion sports, licensing specialist. Is there anybody who's done the undergraduate studies in a science background? Is there anyone? Okay, so patent analyst is an exam that you can take if you have an IP background. You don't have to necessarily be a lawyer for the same. Yes. So there is somebody in the chat who said that yes, they have a background in biotechnology. So you don't necessarily have to be a lawyer. There is a patent agent exam. If you have any background in any science subject, you're eligible to take that. So that's what IP empowers you. You are taken up by people from multinational companies and startups. If somebody's thing is on, can you please mute it? Please mute it. Khushi,
Please
please
turn
mute
off your
yourself
mic.
if please. Thank you so much.
Please turn off your mic.
Before I was interrupted, I'm sorry. Uh, you talk about expensive fakes. So I was giving you the example where everybody's fond of branded stuff like Gucci, Prada, Ralph Lauren, and you use that whenever you buy expensive fakes. That's also a breach of intellectual property protection. And that is why you see that they're not being sold by e-commerce operators on big platforms like Amazon. You don't get them that easily, right? So copying of their logo, trying to imitate their brand strategies is also a violation of the intellectual property, right? Now, what can be your role as an IPR lawyer? In the sense, you need to discuss, analyze, write technical descriptions, and prepare responses. This is if you are exclusively dealing with things like litigation and drafting. If you are a patent agent, for those people who have a science background, and you don't have to necessarily be a lawyer to register for the patent agent exam, the work stems to be a little more technical, as in, since you have a science background, your scientific knowledge will be used in the same. So that is what this essentially talks about. The challenges are that it has a very diverse work profile. You have to be very astute when you talk about attention to details. The science background tends to be an advantage for people who are from the science backgrounds, who studied maths, physics, chemistry, biology. Patent agents kind of diversify some work. Okay, IPR is an area which is a bit crowded. It's not a very niche area in India anymore. India is not that big on IP innovation as of now. We are garnering more and more people in terms of startups, but generally it's not that big anymore. Right now, it's still, on its path to becoming bigger and better, but still, that is what is happening. Now, if anybody has any questions related to it, the sense that what IPR is and what challenges and work profile you have in terms of IPR, please feel free to raise your hands, unmute yourself, and ask your questions. As far as this course that Lawful Legal is offering, it's about covering the 4 dimensions of intellectual property rights, which is copyright. Ma'am, if someone is not, then what are the career? I am a law student that shows an. Okay. I have got a question that says, if someone is not from the science background, then what are the career prospects of IPR? I'm a law student and I've chosen IPR as my elective. Okay. 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 First, let me finish the last question that I saw. Okay, so if you have chosen IPR as your elective, you definitely have a lot of career options. You can join a litigation firm which specializes in IPR. So in IPR also there are various domains. There are GIs, there are trademarks, there are copyrights, there are patents, there are industrial designs. It depends on what area you want to specialize in. By industrial designs, you can be hired by big construction and real estate companies. By copyrights, you can be hired by publishing houses. For trademarks and patents, you can be hired by pharmaceutical companies, especially for patents. We have a term called evergreening of patents, which I'll be covering in my course, where I will tell you that India is one of the biggest pharmaceutical capitals that you have in the world, and you actually use bowler exemption. So patent protection is big in pharmaceutical sector in India. You also have trademark protection in the sense that you have brand logos, like Ritu Kumar is a brand that uses trademark heavily, or as well as on their clothing designs. So that is something which has an amalgamation of fashion as well as some elements of intellectual property, both in the sense of a creative angle attached to it. So Asa, can you please see if I have missed any questions? I'm a company secretary by profession. Can it be a good career for me? Ma'am, if you're a company secretary by profession, are you just a company secretary or have you done something else as well? Whose ever's question that was? I'm sorry if I missed the name. Himanshi. Himanshi, are you just a company secretary or have you done anything else? Like you must have done undergraduation in a certain area, right? Are you there here right now in the webinar? Okay, if you want to join as an IPR lawyer after BA LLB, yes, you can join. Definitely, there are a lot of steps to follow. I mean, look for a area that interests you and you join that person. Do relevant internships in IPR so it gives you the requisite knowledge so that you can perform better at your tasks. Of course, keep reading up, keep writing, keep publishing if you want to stay in IPR, because since it's a slightly dynamic area, so you really need to keep yourself abreast with whatever you have going on. Any other questions that anybody have? I would really appreciate if you could voice it uh, out rather than typing it in the chat. It becomes very difficult. So I would want to know your name and your question, only then I can take it up properly. Okay, so this is the last question that I'm taking up on the chat. If somebody has a question, please raise your hand and speak out. Which area of IPR particularly works with fashion? Okay, a nice question. Somebody who's interested in fashion. Okay. So basically, trademark, industrial design, to some extent, even copyright works. In fact, all areas of IPR work with fashion. But if we talk about brand labels like Ritu Kumar, copyright and trademark would be the two foremost areas that work with fashion right now, at least in the Indian markets. But then I'm talking about a particular brand label. For each company, it's different. So yeah, mostly an amalgamation of all the areas of IPR. Is there anyone else who has any other questions related to the course or related to IPR for that matter? Ma'am, can you tell us about your certificate? It means classes will be live or in record form, and when you take it is on weekends and everything. Classes will be bilingual or not. Okay. My certificate course and IPR classes will be live. We will also record them for people who cannot attend them live, as I assume some people may have other engagements. They will not be every day, they will be on weekends. Mostly, we will have it towards the later half of the day. We've not fixed a time slot, so we will let you know, and according to everybody's convenience, we are also going to record those classes. So, say if somebody cannot attend those classes, they can always see the recording. I was told by people that it should be bilingual, but I got a very weird comment on the chat saying that, I understand that you are bilingual, but we are from Andhra. I understand you're from Andhra, but I can speak English as well, as good as you, ma'am. So it's not about English, it's about ease of other people. So yes, I don't know whether it'll be like I was told that it should be in bilingual. I don't have a problem in repeating it in Hindi for people who have difficulty in comprehending English. But yes, mostly it will be in English.
Ma'am, sorry for
I
interference. Please,
yeah.
uh, uh, I'm I'm telling you कि please आप bilingually classes लेना.
ठीक है तो
Like
फिर
most of the students are comfortable with bilingual ना तो.
I was doing bilingual Asta, but then I
Yes,
got
yes,
this very rude
I know.
comment.
इसलिए हमने आपको पहले बोला था कि आप bilingual ही लेना. But it's
ठीक है मैं
okay,
bilingual ही ले लूंगी.
Fourth year of my BBLLB program from Karnataka State Law University. I just wanted to know, like, I want to pursue my career in corporate law, but specifically in cyber law. So I just want to know, is it the good option to like pursue the career in cyber law?
Shalini, first of all, everything that you do, if you're interested in it, is a good option. So if you like cyber law, you should go for cyber law. I mean, cyber law has a lot of scope for your career growth, and it has a lot of elements of information technology law. So maybe if you are interested in cyber law, you should start focusing on Information Technology Act. You should start focusing on cryptocurrencies, OECD, cyber crimes. It has a lot of elements. Depends on which element of law you want to specialize in. But yes, it's a very, very good choice for your career growth. There's absolutely no problem in pursuing cyber law.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
hello. Ma'am, like I want to become a corporate lawyer. So which course is better for me?
Amongst which courses? I'm assuming it's Vaishnavi speaking. Hi, Vaishnavi.
Yes,
I
ma'am. Good
don't know
evening,
which
ma'am.
two courses you're. Sorry.
I said good evening.
Good evening. Good
તમારા
evening.
24 તો કોઈલર કાચું પાકું લાયસન્સ કાચામાં કોમ્પ્યુટર એક્ઝામ આવીને પાસ.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Please
so
speak.
somebody asked me two questions. For one was on chat and one is live. So the first question is that I want to pursue a corporate career. Which course is good for me? I don't know which two courses or which streams you're confused in. But yes, if you want to pursue a career in corporate law, IPR is definitely a good choice to go for corporate law, because corporate does not just involve mergers and acquisitions, taxation, tax planning, transfer pricing, competition law. It also has elements of IPR. So yeah, IPR has a role in corporate law as well. Okay. Will we be doing practical like filing, claiming, or raising any objections like complete procedure? You mean to say in terms of patent registration? No. I'm sorry. My course will not cover that, because that is the job of a patent agent. So I am myself not trained to do that. So I'm not going to, I can definitely tell you how to file for a geographical indication. Uh, Geographical indication, how is it filed? How do you go for an industrial design, copyright? All those forms I will show you during my course. But I am not going to teach you patent agents material, because I myself not trained to be a patent agent. I'm not a patent agent. I don't have a science background. So I am not adept, and I don't think so even you guys are eligible, most of you who don't have a science background, to sit for the patent agent exam. So sorry, Yash, I'm not going to teach you specifically about patent agents. But yes, I will be telling you how to file for a claim, raise disputes. Yes, I will be talking about that. Is CS enough with BLLB as a good career? Yes, it is. ma'am, how IPR works in sports field. Okay. IPR works in sports field in a very, very dynamic fashion, because you have something called a celebrity rights. Okay, that's a different area altogether. I'll be covering very briefly on celebrity rights, right? So, all of you are fans of cricket, I think, cricket or badminton. Okay, you have certain signature shots of these players. Yeah, whenever you talk about celebrities, you have a particular dance move that they use. Okay, that is also something that can be used as their intellectual property. They can actually take that as a protection. So yes, we will be talking about that also when I will be dealing with IPR in sports. I will be dealing with that. uh are there any editable drafts also? Yes, Lawful Legal is going to provide editable drafts with it. Provided certification for payment only. I did not get your question. It's a paid course. So obviously, if you pay, you are eligible to use those recordings, come live for the class, have access to slides, editable drafts, and all that Lawful Legal has written. Yes, your certificate will only come up after you completed the entire course, right? Okay, I am from commerce background. Yeah, no problem at all. If you're from any background, there's no problem with IPR. Only if you're from a science background, you'll have some advantage in terms of sitting for the patent agent exam, maybe knowing a little bit more background information about IPR. But that can be covered up with extensive reading. There's absolutely no problem, even if you are not from a science background. Only the patent agent exam you cannot take. Otherwise, you're eligible to take that. Okay. Khaitan, Anand and Adant deal with tier one, and I mean, there are some of the tier one law firms in IPR. Novartis, which is in Bangalore. Glenmark again deals with IPR. Yes, all these firms deal with IPR. Any other questions for me, guys? And one request, please unmute yourself and let me know your question. Inayat, right? Please go ahead with your question. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Your name, please.
माय नेम इज मनाली और मैम मैं सेकेंड ईयर में हूँ एंड मुझे आईपीआर में ही करियर करना है, तो आप मुझे बता सकते हैं एग्जैक्ट कैसे करियर करना है? और 2 मंथ्स लेटर मैं थर्ड ईयर में जाऊंगी, तो इंटर्नशिप और एलएलबी के बाद जॉब वगैरह, तो अपॉर्चुनिटीज कैसी होगी और कैसे बनाए एग्जैक्ट आईपीआर में करियर?
ओके, सो मनाली, राइट? आपका सवाल है कि मैं आईपीआर में कैसे अपना करियर बनाऊं, ठीक है? सबसे पहले मनाली, आप जितनी भी इंटर्नशिप्स करेंगी आगे चल के, वो आईपीआर रिलेटेड डोमेन में आप कर सकती हैं। जैसे अगर आप लॉ फर्म में अभी नहीं जाना चाहती क्योंकि अभी आप थर्ड ईयर में जाएंगी, तो आप इंटर्नशिप किसी लिटिगेटिंग लॉयर के अंदर ले लें जो आईपीआर में डील करता हो, ठीक है? जिससे कि आपको समझ में आए कि कॉपीराइट प्रोटेक्शन कैसे। किसी पब्लिशिंग हाउस में आप इंटर्नशिप ले सकती हैं। पेंगुइन हाउस है, रैंडम हाउस है, बहुत सारे पब्लिशिंग हाउसेस हैं जिसमें बहुत सारे कॉल्स होते हैं। आप एक ऑनलाइन इंटर्नशिप भी कर सकती हैं, रनिंग इंटर्नशिप इसे कहते हैं। अपनी पढ़ाई के साथ साथ शाम में 4 से 5 घंटे आप डिवोट कर सकती हैं टू दैट इंटर्नशिप, ठीक है? तो उससे आप पूरे ईयर में मल्टीपल चीजें सीख सकती हैं। एंड आफ्टर योर 5 ईयर प्रोग्राम इज ओवर, डिपेंडिंग आपके इंटरेस्ट के ऊपर कि आप लिटिगेशन में जाना चाहती हैं कि आप कॉर्पोरेट में जाना चाहती हैं, उस बेसिस पे आप अपनी जॉब का सिलेक्शन कर सकती हैं। तो आपका आराम से करियर बन गया। एंड आप इलेक्टिव्स ले सकती हैं अगर आपके कॉलेज में वो फैसिलिटी है इलेक्टिव्स ऑप्ट करने की। जैसे सेलिब्रिटी राइट्स एक बहुत ही बढ़िया इलेक्टिव है जो बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस में ऑफर होता है। मुझे नहीं पता आपके कॉलेज में होता है कि नहीं। इट्स अ वेरी नीश एरिया, बहुत कम लोग हैं जो इसके बारे में जानते हैं। आईपीआर एंड स्पोर्ट्स एक और है जो एक बच्चे ने मुझसे यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन पूछा जो मैं डील करूंगी, ठीक है? तो ये एक बहुत अच्छा वे है जिससे आप आगे बढ़ सकती हैं। अच्छा, मुझे क्वेश्चन आया है, I have post-graduated in commerce. This is my final year in LLB. Now I want to build my career in the field of IPR and taxation. IPR and taxation or taxation with respect to IPR? Can you please elaborate on that? मुझे IPR and taxation both. हाँ,
Hello,
आप
yes,
कर
ma'am.
सकते हैं। हाँ जी, हेमंत, right?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, all the
Yeah.
time I'm confused to what I courses opted by myself, because I completed my commerce in the field of IPR, just like any financial institutes. So that is why on that time I'm confused. So what the field
So
I in my best.
the best way to deal with this is, Hemant, royalty as a fee for technical services in upcoming area in IPR and taxation both. Maybe start reading up on that. बहुत ज्यादा स्कोप है, दोनों फील्ड्स काफी ओवरलैप करती हैं. We can have a
And ma'am,
discussion on this as
and
a
ma'am, as a teaching, what field
as a
of best in the
as
IPR as a field of
sorry,
teaching.
can you please be louder, Hemant? I lost you. आप please repeat
Uh,
करेंगे.
if I want to build my career in a teaching, so what kind of courses are doing in the field of IPR and taxation in both?
You want to go in the field of teaching, ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, you'll have to do your LLM. In one of the two, जो भी आपको ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट करता है, I mean IPR or taxation, whichever is your field, right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
depending on the availability and your interest, because sometimes we have an interest in something when we start out. हम शुरू में हमें लगता है इसमें हमें बहुत इंटरेस्ट है, फिर हमें बाद में इंटरेस्ट हमारा चेंज हो जाता है. We also changing individuals. उस
Yes,
basis
ma'am.
पे आप जा सकते हैं.
एक्चुअली मैं स्टार्टिंग में मैंने काफी चीजें देखी है. मैंने बीकॉम करी मैंने, तो मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आई. मैंने एमकॉम करी. तो दिक्कत यह है कि मैं कंफ्यूजन काफी ज्यादा क्रिएट हुई है कि मैं किस चीज में अच्छा हूँ. आफ्टर एलएलबी में आने के बाद थोड़ा सा लगा कि हाँ मेरी टीचिंग फील्ड बेस्ट है. तो मैंने अपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लॉ, कंपनी लॉ और आईपीआर, इन तीन और टैक्सेशन को मैंने चूज किया कि एज अ मैं इनमें अच्छा हूँ, अच्छा कर सकता हूँ एज अ टीचिंग भी और एज अ प्रोफेशन भी. बट एज अ प्रोफेशन में अगर जॉब करना चाहूँ तो मेरा उतना नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं नहीं चाहता कि मैं लाइफ 12 घंटे 13 घंटे बाहर रहूँ. टीचिंग
जी.
में शॉर्टेड लाइफ होती है, तो मैं वही चीज चाहता हूँ. तो इसलिए मैं उसमें अपना थोड़ा एफर्ट डालना चाहता हूँ. उसमें कैसे करूँ मैं उसमें.
अच्छा, तो मैं आपकी ना ये मेरा थोड़ा सा टेक आपसे अलग है. टीचिंग में शॉर्ट लाइफ नहीं होती है. टीचिंग में आप सारा टाइम काम करते हो, बिकॉज मैं सारा टाइम
नहीं,
काम
मैं
करती हूँ.
एक्चुअली बहुत समझना आता है मुझे, लेकिन दिक्कत ये है ना, जैसे एज अ लिटिगेशन, एज अ
हाँ
स्पीकिंग.
ठीक है, मैं समझ गई.
तो
बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल आपके हिसाब से वो स्ट्रेसफुल नहीं होता. ठीक है.
यस
तो
मैम.
आप फिर अगर आप अपना इसमें देखना चाहते तो पहले आप अपनी एलएलबी कंप्लीट करिए. ठीक है, फिर आप
यस
एक
मैम.
एलएलएम के लिए अप्लाई करिए. फिर एलएलएम में आपको जो सब्जेक्ट इंटरेस्ट कर रहा है, देखिए टैक्सेशन कम लोग पढ़ाते हैं, आईपीआर ज्यादा लोग पढ़ा लेते हैं. मुझे नहीं पता ऐसा क्यों है, बट टैक्स पढ़ाना थोड़ा ज्यादा टेक्निकल होता है. कंपटीशन लॉ पढ़ाना थोड़ा ज्यादा टेक्निकल होता है. आईपीआर भी टेक्निकल होता है, लेकिन जो लॉ स्कूल में हमारी पढ़ाई होती है 3 ईयर एंड 5 ईयर
यस.
प्रोग्राम में, वो बहुत डिटेल में नहीं होती है, क्योंकि टाइम नहीं होता. मतलब मैं टीचर्स को ब्लेम नहीं करी, सब्जेक्ट ऐसा डिजाइंड है कि वो चारों चीजें तो नहीं पढ़ा पाते.
मैम क्या बात इसकी नहीं है. बात ये है कि जैसे कि मेरे में एक थोड़ी सी दिक्कत ये है कि जैसे मैं अगर काम करना चाहूँ एज प्रैक्टिकल वे में, शायद मैं उसमें ना सीख पाऊँ. ठीक है, जो चीज मैं जानता हूँ कि इसे करना कैसे है, उसे मैं समझा सकता हूँ अच्छे से. मैं मतलब
तो
एज
आपका
अ
सवाल
टीचर
क्या
मैं,
है?
मैम मैं ये चाहता हूँ मैं टीचिंग में अपने को कैसे बिल्ड करूँ. हाउ एम आई बिल्डिंग माय
आप
करियर
पहले
इन टीचिंग.
एलएलएम करिए, उसके बाद बिल्ड अप होगा. पहले तो आप अपने मास्टर्स खत्म करिए, पहले आप अपनी एलएलबी खत्म करिए, फिर आप अपने
तो
एलएलएम
मैं
खत्म करिए.
तो मैं विदाउट एलएलएम एलएलबी के बाद मैं
आप
टीचिंग
टीच
अप्लाई
नहीं
कर
कर
सकता हूँ.
सकते. आप नहीं टीच कर सकते विदाउट एलएलएम.
ओके.
You can't do that. I am Vaishnavi. I have done 4 internships online on legal research and analysis, which is good internship for corporate. Please, वैष्णवी आप प्लीज गूगल करिए इस चीज को. मैं आईपीआर और कोर्स से रिलेटेड चीजें डील कर रही हूँ. वी कैन हैव अ करियर डिस्कशन मे बी टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ माय कोर्स. बट अगर कोई कोर्स से रिलेटेड, जैसे एक है, आई वांट टू बिल्ड माय करियर इन मीडिया एंड एंटरटेनमेंट, इज इट इंक्लूडेड विद इन आईपीआर? यस इट इज. Anyone else who has a course related question, I mean I'll be happy to address all of these questions, but अगर मुझे course से related पहले questions मिलेंगे तो मैं ज्यादा पसंद करूंगी. कोई है जिसको कोर्स से रिलेटेड पूछना है कुछ, या
Yes, ma'am.
यस.
Ma'am, can I
योर
speak?
नेम प्लीज.
Ma'am, I am
या
Meghavi
योर
Jindal. Megha.
या
I am Meghavi Jindal. Actually, you during the course only in the very initial stage, you said that IPR cannot be covered in the like existing things which is already there. So process में IPR cover हो सकता है, but natural चीजें में नहीं होंगी. So
हाँ.
animals basically it's natural. So cross
यस.
breed hybrid अगर वो हुआ, suppose there's
हाँ.
recently panda dog. So that's a mixture of dog and panda. So can that
That
be
can be
covered
covered.
by this?
Yes, that can be. There is also concept called Medhavi designer babies. ठीक है, एक केस है बहुत पुराना, आप उसे गूगल करिएगा। वहां पे दो डेफ कपल, मतलब हस्बैंड वाइफ ने डिसाइड करा that they want the kid to be deaf. Of course, this is a human rights violation, but this is also like a thing that, you know, the concept, जैसे artificial insemination है, you're creating something which is a human being. At the end of the day, human beings are naturally on earth, right? But जो process है, the way it is done is obviously into IPR. But panda जो dog है, that will also come in the domain of intellectual property, because that is something that they thought about. Crossbreds are not natural. From my limited reading of the area, of course, I will be dealing this in greater detail during my course. And it's a very, very good question that you asked. So I'm really happy that you asked this question. Please,
I have one more question
yes.
related to it only. You said that panda dog can be covered in IPR, but
Yeah.
if I am not wrong, I don't know the section name, but it actually says a complete animal or a plant complete that cannot be covered in IPR
No,
in
you
India.
are not, no, you are not wrong in saying that panda dog. Okay, so how do I explain this to you? Um, I gave you an example of an oil, right? मैंने एक oil
Yeah.
का example दिया था during
Yes,
the
yes.
webinar.
True.
So
Yeah.
think of the panda dog as an oil, right? मतलब final product आपका एक oil है. Analogy आप एक oil की रखी है, ठीक है? Now in the tree,
Hmm.
the elements of the oil were naturally there. A panda and a dog are already there on the earth, right? इस पे कोई confusion नहीं है that they cannot come under IPR. There's absolutely no confusion, because you are discovering the panda and the dog, right? Now if they mate together naturally, ठीक है, understand the difference. If they mate together naturally and produce a hybrid, right,
Hmm.
there is absolutely no IPR protection, because it has happened in a natural scenario. जब आप human evolution पढ़ते हो, you know we are homo sapien sapien, okay?
Yeah.
So what happens is, there is a theory, it's called the Neanderthal evolutionary theory, ठीक है? Since you have asked this, so I'm covering this. This is not, I mean, I will not be reading it in great detail in my course, because this is not covered in the 5-year program, but I'll still tell you what happens is, Neanderthal man decided to mate with Homo erectus to produce a version of Homo sapien something. I don't remember the exact scientific name, right? This is not protected under IPR. अगर IPR उस टाइम पे होता तो, ठीक है? अब आप जो मुझे बोल रहे हो, अगर ये आर्टिफिशियली हुआ है, ठीक है, अगर मैंने कोई प्रोसेस
Hmm.
यूज करा है, तो वो प्रोसेस इज पेटेंटेड, इसमें तो कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है आपको, तो आईपीआर इज कमिंग इनटू प्ले हियर।
नहीं. Okay,
नहीं
so
आ
your
रहा है,
pack in crux, if you can conclude, so process can be patented, but the overall
नॉट द
the
प्रोडक्ट,
byproduct
यस
cannot be
यस,
patented,
दैट इज
and
व्हाट आई एम
also it
ट्राइंग टू टेल यू।
depends on whether it's natural or chemical or medical.
Yes, so it is on a case by case basis. जो आप मुझे बता रहे हो, ये see, I will also have to read up. So I cannot give you a. I'll read up and get back to you if you're there in my course. Or otherwise, also you can always connect with me on my email. I'll write my email on the chat box. I will read up and get back to you. But as far as my limited knowledge of the field goes, because IPR is a big, large field, मेरे हिसाब से जो आप बोल रहे हो कि जो बाय प्रोडक्ट है विच इज पांडा डॉग, वो तो आईपीआर का वो नहीं है, मतलब पांडा डॉग को मैं आईपीआर नहीं बोल सकती, बट जो प्रोसेस से वो बना है दैट इज पेटेंटेबल, इस पे तो कोई डाउट होना नहीं चाहिए, बट स्टिल आई विल research and get back to you on this. And in the meantime, if you find
Okay,
an
sure.
answer which is different from yours, if in case I'm wrong, I'll be happy to correct that, happy to learn from you कि अगर मैं गलत हूं तो आप मुझे बता दीजिए, because I am not sure about this. I will research, but as far as I know, the process is definitely comes under the domain of IPR. In case you come up with an interesting find, please feel free to reach out, and then we can share it in the class as well. Everyone will learn from you.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
No worries. Okay, IPR is a good option for teaching if you're adding multiple corporate fields related to a CV or just sticking to one particular field. Tanya, this is a very individualistic approach. I feel jack of all trades is master of none. So I think you should stick to one field. But then that is just my viewpoint. If you think you can thrive in a diverse environment, गुड। अगर आपको लगता है कि आप बहुत सारे फील्ड्स में इंटर्नशिप करके कर सकती हैं तो आप वो भी कर सकती हैं। ओके, आईपीआर इज अ गुड ऑप्शन फॉर टीचिंग। ओके, वैष्णवी ने एक मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछा था, एक ईयर एलएलएम इज वैलिड फॉर आईपीआर। आई रियली डोंट नो द न्यू रूल्स, सो मुझे नहीं पता कि अभी नया रूल क्या है। देर आर 1 year LLM programs by upgrad and all of that, so maybe you can research on that. I have no idea what the stance on an IPR LLM is. मेरे टाइम पे 1 साल पे था, so I don't know. How can मैम कैन यू बिल्ड अ करियर? मुझे सेलिब्रिटी राइट्स मतलब मुझे समझ नहीं आया इज द comment. I did not explain what are celebrity rights. Celebrity rights in IPR is an elective that is offered by a lot of law schools. मैं ये बोल रही थी कि ये एक कोर्स है जो बहुत सारे लोग ऑफर करते हैं बहुत सारे लॉ स्कूल्स में। अगर आपके कॉलेज में ये कोर्स है या कोई सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स आपको दिखाई देता है जो ये ऑफर करता है, तो ये भी एक बहुत अच्छा एरिया है जिसमें यू कैन राइट ऑन दिस, यू कैन रिसर्च ऑन दिस कि सेलिब्रिटी राइट्स एंड आईपीआर हाउ दे फंक्शन टुगेदर। दिस इज व्हाट आई वाज ट्राइंग टू टेल यू। ऐसा मैंने कुछ और खास पढ़ाया नहीं था। मैम टीचिंग प्रोफेशन में जाना है लॉ में तो क्या ओनली एलएलएम है सफिशिएंट? आपको सनद लेने की जरूरत नहीं है अगर आपको एडवोकेट नहीं बनना है, बट मैं फिर भी कहती हूँ कि आप सनद ले लें। इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर टू हैव योर ओन लाइसेंस एंड टेक द बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया एग्जाम आफ्टर यू ग्रेजुएट। So that is one question here. Anyone else who has any questions related to the course? किसी को कोई और सवाल है जो which I can help you with? Okay, I guess then we are done. So Astha, are you there? आप हैं यहाँ पे?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Astha, just please announce if they have any other questions, and I'll be happy to answer that.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I would like to say कि आप एक बार please course details and pricing students को आप discuss कर लो.
अच्छा, ठीक है. So, course details. Okay, what is going to cover in your classes? Is there any timing for the course? Okay, so the course that we are going to cover, like the module that we have, I will share that on the WhatsApp group. We are yet to structure the whole thing in the sense that I'm yet to freeze on the whole document. We will be dealing with important case laws related to IPR, copyright, that is copyright, industrial design, पेटेंट एंड ट्रेडमार्क। ठीक है, पेटेंट में मैं आपको बोलर एग्जाम्पशंस भी पढ़ाऊंगी। ठीक है, I will also be teaching a bit on geographical indications, little. We will not go into a lot of detail on these areas. Only if somebody has an interest in these areas while we are, peeking through the material, what we can do is maybe after our course is over, that person जिसको उस चीज में इंटरेस्ट है वो अलग से मुझसे कनेक्ट कर सकता है through lawful legal, and we can have another session on that. I am open to that, or I can share you readings in case something interests you. Lawful legal and I are happy to share readings with you for that. Timing of the course are going to be on weekends. Asta, did we freeze on a timing for the course? I don't think so. We've done that yet, right? Would you like mind taking over this timing for the course?
Yes, we will share the timing for the course in our groups after we will
Yes.
discuss together.
Yeah, we'll do that. Acha, pricing hai. So we are running a promotion right now. Lawful Legal and me are running a promotion in the sense that if you register for this course before 31st, it's 12.99 per person, and if you register after 31st, it becomes 14.99 rupees. So this is something that we are running because March is ending, so financial year is getting over. So हम ये promotion run कर रहे हैं. So this is the pricing. We'll give you a certificate for this particular course, and everything will be live. We will also be recording these lectures. जैसे आज हमने ये lecture record करा है. In case somebody wants, they can connect with Lawful Legal, and they are going to make it available through a link for you. Also, the editable drafts, Lawful Legal will be sharing with you. We will be doing it through slides. How would you provide the drafts? How are we providing the draft? We are emailing it to them, right, Astha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we will be emailing you the drafts. All the other details, like जो भी आपके course के technical details हैं, barring the course module. Okay, and I will also be sharing, I will not call it a test, but I will be having like a essay at the end of my class कि what topic you would like to write on, उस तरह का एक होगा. हाँ, सर्टिफिकेट डेफिनेटली मिलेगा अजय जी. पूरे वेबिनार का सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगा, सॉरी. मुझे लगा कोर्स का आप सर्टिफिकेट पूछे, वेबिनार का कोई सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है. अगर आप कोर्स के लिए रजिस्टर करेंगे तो कोर्स का सर्टिफिकेट जरूर मिलेगा. व्हाट वाज आई सेइंग? यस, टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ आवर कोर्स हम मैं एक ऐसे शेयर करूंगी आप लोगों से कुछ टॉपिक्स पे. एंड certificate, yes, will be provided by Lawful Legal, and you guys can write on that, and whichever certificate, whichever essay we feel is the best, will get a chance to go ahead for an RA-ship with me. ठीक है, मैं एक RA-ship ऑफर करती हूँ, तो आप मेरे साथ एक पेपर पब्लिश कर सकते हैं. जो भी बंदे की या स्टूडेंट की ऐसे मुझे सबसे अच्छी लगी, लॉफुल लीगल और मुझे, so that person will get an RA-ship of a month with me, and we can actually publish a paper together. So for all the budding academics, this is a big chance. तो ये एक चीज है. Apart from this, duration of the course 4 weeks. Anything else? Does anyone want to know? Ma'am, how are you doing as an IPR lawyer? Himanshi, I don't know if you know about my introduction. I teach at OP Jindal, so I'm not exactly an IPR lawyer. I'm a career academic. Any other questions? I think Asa, we can close the session now. Everybody's questions has been answered. No, we don't have participation certificates for this webinar. I have repeated this up to number of times. We don't. I think Asa, we can close the session. अब तो और कोई मुझे questions नहीं नजर आ रहे हैं.
I think
Is there
ma'am
anyone?
took all the questions.
Is there anybody whose questions have been left out? Anything you guys want to know? No, right?
Is anybody have doubt?
Thank you. ठीक है. So then I'm cutting off.
Just a second, ma'am. We will share the course detail in our WhatsApp group in the written form. Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, we will be sharing this over the weekend, Astha. एक काम करते हैं. Let's share them after, like, this is a long weekend for everyone, including Astha and me. So we will do it by
Yeah.
Monday. I think that should be
Yes.
a decent deadline.
Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am. And with that, we have I think we would take all the questions. So I would like to move on the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Asta, for having me. I hope to see some of you for our course. So this is a flagship program that Lawful Legal and I have started. So I hope
Thank you
that
so
we...
much, ma'am, for taking
No worries.
out
Thank you, Asta, for being
your
a
precious time and accepting our invitation for conducting this webinar.
Asta, thank you
so
so much for having me. I loved interacting with everybody here. Thank you so much for
So
patiently
sweet of
listening
you.
to me. So thank you for being a wonderful host. Asta is going to be with us during our sessions as well, if I'm not wrong, right? She's going to be joining us for any technical issues or anything else. Please feel free to message Asta and me on the group if you have any questions related to the course. We will be sharing the course module very shortly with all of you guys, and you guys can have a look at it, and then we can, go ahead with this. Okay, then take care, everybody. Have a lovely weekend ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.